Oh, right on, right on. Goodness, let me get this one. Good morning, good evening, or good night, just depending upon where you are. Let's see here. It's time to prep for the holidays. Anyone else get in those predicaments where you're just like, I want to make a lot of stuff, I just don't know what I'm gonna make. This is one of those predicaments. First and foremost, salute. Cheers, everyone. Let's get to it, shall we? So, this is the precarious position I currently find myself in, yeah? YouTube world, I appreciate y'all for watching. Got one rib roast. Yeah. Two rib roasts. And might as well make it an even pitmasters. Three rib roasts. So, got a lot of meat here. And I don't know well, I do know what I want to do with it. There's just a lot of stuff that I want to do with it. Like, there's a part of me that's just like, yo, break this down right now. Let's have a steak at 10:30 at night. No judgment. But we'll straight no. So these, man, not a Hufflepuff, bro. These meat prices are higher than giraffe's ass right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But here's the cheat code. This week is the week to stock up on your steak for the next 3 months. All right, bite the bullet. Go ahead and snag it. Right now, I think it's $6.599 or $6.29 a pound. Right. So this one likely is going to be the one I break down for steaks so that I can have a nice steak tomorrow. And you'll see why in a sec. I think it's all coming to me now as far as what route I'm gonna take for this prep for the dish for holiday dinner. You know, because you say Christmas, people lose their mind. But and I want to put you guys on game too. Okay, look at the marbling. All right, this is one of the better marbled ones that they had, but I wasn't tripping. I wasn't focusing on the eye this go around. I was looking at the spinalis. You see how much more marbling there is in the spinalis? Everyone wants to sell you the eye. I'm not gonna knock it, but that spinalis is where all the real flavor is. My man, see, that's the cow game. I've been trying to get my buddies to go on the cow with me. Cow and a hog. But let's get to what we're doing. Let's start clearing these out. I'm making this smart. This is gonna be my steak. This is, and the only math I do out loud is barbecue math, so I'm running down through the numbers, right? This was originally $72.27. They were going for $15.99 a pound. Can you believe that? $15.99 a pound. You gotta do some felonious acts in order to afford meat these days, all right? It's things you can't look your grandmother in the eye afterwards. So $72 for this. This was gonna be 72 bucks. Told you, higher than giraffe's ass. Okay, the reason why this is a better deal is that we got a total of 4.5 pounds, $40. I can get 2 monstrous thick cut steaks with this. And that would give me each steak at about 20 bucks per steak. Not bad. Or I could trim on bone and get 4 3/4 inch steaks. So 4 3/4 inch steaks for $40 is about 10 bucks a steak. Also not bad. Break it down how you want to break it down. All right, let's clear this stuff off and let's get to the rubs and stuff, shall we? Because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get these set with some flavor. We're gonna use some white peppercorn. Nutella cherry peppercorn, some cumin, rosemary, dried rosemary, fresh serrano pepper. You guys know how I get down with the get down. I gotta have my Mexican oregano. Garlic, kosher salt, large flake, bird's eye. It's expensive, so I don't recommend everybody and their mom get it. Split peppercorn, traditional, and black Hawaiian salt. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little bit of fun mixing and melding some flavors. I've got some dehydrated thyme as well, and don't forget your beverage of choice, because doing this without alcohol just feels like work. Let's get started. Let's blow it up, shall we? Love and Meek, how you doing? David Russell, what's happening? I really like these glasses. They have mountains, peaks at the bottom ridge of them. It's a really dope little gift to myself. All right, so let's get a few things in order here. We're gonna salt these, but we're not just gonna salt them, we're gonna salt them with a little bit of flavor. Get our little $12 Walmart mixer out of the way here. Get it nicely plugged up. Sweet. Now we can go. So let's start off. So what I'm serving on this is, gosh, which one was this? This was Defiant. This is Defiant. It's really, really good, and it's affordable too. So let's start bottom up, finer dry. Couple pinches of our oregano, Mexican oregano. Gonna get our cumin in here. I love cumin. Maybe it's the Islander in me. I love the earthiness. I love the aroma. I love it large like this as well. You don't need a lot of cumin. Cumin's like allspice. A little goes a very long way. Push that off to the side. Now, we've got our white peppercorns coming in here. I'm just gonna put them in because this is not the final seasoning. This is just a little bit to hold it over while we are letting it brine in the fridge. Once again, a little pinch of dried rosemary. I'm gonna get, and if you guys are gonna mess around with Hawaiian black salt, no, it is very, very salty. It's very, very salty. Just be mindful. Let's get some of that in there. There we go. All right, let's top it off with our large flake. You haven't made anything and I'm hungry. Oh my gosh, a lot of salt. Whoa. Yes. Yes, it is. Have you seen the size of those things? Once again, we're just putting this on as a base layer to allow it to start sweating, to allow, and let's put our little quarter bit dehydrated thyme. Saw you on Netflix, you're talking about the congressional success. I appreciate that, Mr. Hanser. Thank you, man. How you doing this evening? Yeah, big chunks of meat. Exactly. That's what they used to call me in high school. Let's get this tossed in there. Little bitsy bits. Tell you, this is probably the best $12 I've ever spent. Alrighty. Knock the walls off. There you go. I like that. That works. That works out really nicely. Our cumin is broken down. Just Smell that nice good oregano. If you chef at all or cook at all, you probably have a closet full of these like I do. Take that off. Alright, so we're just gonna get it in there. We're just doing a light dusting of the meat. Nothing too crazy tonight. I'll put this to the side. We're gonna use it again. We're gonna use our coffee grinder, spice grinder a little bit later. So this is what I'm gonna coat the main dish with right now. How long? I'm going to do from tonight up until Christmas Eve. Tonight up until Christmas Eve. And I'm gonna do another batch that's just gonna be pure salt and rosemary, because I'm gonna break down this guy and turn it into steaks that I can have tomorrow. So let me go ahead and make my next batch of just rosemary powder and infuse that with my salt. So do that, grab that. My spice grinder. I already have the powdered thyme, but I don't have the powdered rosemary. I do have fresh rosemary, but I'm not going to use that for this because we're going to put the fresh rosemary in a compound butter. You guys want to see how I make my compound butter? Really simple. This is a good holiday compound butter. It's got lemon zest, peppers, well, obviously butter, lemon juice, salt, garlic, all the good stuff. Let's bust this down here. Hey, thanks for joining the live on YouTube. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, thank you. So, where we are right here. Yeah, that's much better, much finer. You see what we're dealing with? Much finer. I prefer this. So this is just our rosemary. We got that settled. Rosemary just smells so good. You know how they used to bake cookies in houses to sell them? Nah, not me. Just lay out some rosemary. I'll buy it. About whatever you're selling. Get our salt in there. Gotta make sure we stay hydrated. Emma Austin 22, how you doing? Keep this off. Then take like a Polaroid picture. Now, this is a quick down and dirty way to make some rosemary salt. How I like to make rosemary salt takes a little bit more time. See what I did there? Little herb joke. What I would do is actually take a whole fresh rosemary plant like this, stems and all, and I would put it in a cheesecloth with a bunch of salt and leave it alone. Let the salt dehydrate the rosemary, suck all the oils out, and that salt would be absolutely amazing. Fun little tip for you guys. We'll get down. Put this one to the side for now. Now, should we start with the meat? Should we start breaking down the meat, preparing the meats? I'll let you guys decide. We can either do the meat or we can do the compound butter. While you deliberate amongst yourselves, I'm gonna have a sip. What was that vote on YouTube? Let's see. Meat or compound butter? You guys decide. Either way, I've got both prepped, ready to go. We got butter. I got 1 vote for butter. Got 2 votes for butter. First one to get to 5 gets it. That's 2 butter votes. Do I hear 3 on butter? You and your sophisticated sips. We got 2 votes for butter. That's 3 on butter, no meat. We got it's 3 on butter. Do I hear meat? Do I got a 4th on butter? It's 4th. That's 4 on butter. Okay. See where we're heading. Compound butter for 4. Meat's falling behind, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to that butter. 1 more butter takes it. And that's 5. Butter it is. Cool. First and foremost, gonna make compound butter, you need the main ingredient. Butter. Shocker. You'd be surprised how many people try to make it without it. You would think that's a joke. It's not. I'm 100% serious. Next, you need some lemons. What's my sip of choice? Usually whatever's in reach, but I've been getting down with tequila a lot lately. Adictivo Plata is so good, but we'll get to that later. Currently, I'm enjoying some Defiant, which is really, really good. Happy holidays. I appreciate that, Miss Holloway. Saucy Luke, killing it, man. You guys are gonna be doing some amazing things over in Arizona. What are the dates? I can't remember the dates off the top of the head, man. Can't remember the dates off the top of the head. So we've got our lemon, we've got our butter, we've got our garlic, got our serrano pepper, all right? We have salt, which you guys have seen here. January 27th, that's right. If you guys aren't aware, Saucy Luke is hooking up with the main man, 100 grand, the bearded one, the most luscious beard this side of the Mississippi. Jonathan Jones of Smoke and Hope. And they're doing a Taste of Arizona, which I think is extremely dope. I'm trying to make it out there, but currently I have to, it conflicts with something, but I'm gonna try to make it happen. I'm out to support it. Plus, I'm really trying to steal Jonathan's beard away, figure out how to do all that. All right, there we go. The bowl. Now to make compound butter, once again, little things that I take for granted that people may know, but they don't. You need butter and softened butter. Not all the way soft like you're trying to bake with it, but so you can press down and it's gonna hold. Give it a little dimple. Boom. So that lets me know it's good. Do not try to rush it by microwaving it. It ruins the whole thing. Just take it out for like 30 minutes, let it relax, do its thing. A couple other instruments you will need. If I can find them at this point in time. They want to call this a microplaner. I like to think of it as a, average, above average size planer. There's nothing micro about this planer. That's how that microplaner was made, and that's how the Lord loves it. Get your pepper grinder. You may want to load it up with some more pepper. What is the brand of butter that I'm using? Whatever is affordable, because these grocery prices have me showing thigh on the corner of Peachtree Industrial trying to make ends meet, literally. All right, we have it all. Let's run through our checklist one more time, because someone's gonna jump into the line a little later and ask, and I wanna make sure we got it. Garlic. Lemon, butter, let's see here, garlic, lemon, butter, salt, whiskey, because I told you doing this without alcohol seems like work, and we're going to hit our fresh herbs. We got rose, there, and then I might toss some basil in here just for funsies, So this one we're not using the thyme for because we made our salt with it earlier. See, you guys are paying attention. See, that Serrano's tucked back there. It's not trying to get the business, but it's going to get that work. I'm sorry. All right. Now let's have some. Ooh, I almost forgot. You know, my main gal right here. This is my Mexican O. It's short for Mexican oregano. Just putting that out there. I don't want any PC people jumping on me. All right, let's get started. These have already been washed, scrubbed, dried. It is always easier to zest fresh lemons when they've been washed and dried. Do not try to do this with damp lemons because it just clogs up your microplaner, or in this case, perfectly average sized planer. But once they're dried, and look for, this is one of those situations when you're going to be zesting, you want to, what's the difference between Mexican oregano and oregano? It's closer to the border. I don't know. Really, it's got a lot more flavor. Good question. I can't see who asked it on YouTube, but thank you. When you're looking for a lemon, this is where you want firm lemons. Really firm, really tight lemons. We will juice these, but we can roll them and juice them after. I'm not going to roll them now because the tighter they are right now, the easier it is for the planer, you know, the above average planer, to catch and zest everything. You'll see what I mean. Cool. So, how to use a planer? There's a lot of ways to do this. There's a lot of people say you can hit it just like so. See if you guys can see me here on both screens. Yeah, I think so. The back and forth method, working this way, where you're turning the planer and you're catching upward versus catching downward. Let me see if I can make that make sense for you. This is catching upward, where I'm mainly rotating both the planer and the lemon. This is catching upward, because you're able to see exactly how much you're taking off. You can make sure you're not getting any of the pith, because that is the bitter end. That's catching upward. Then you drop your remains in there. Catching downward is this. Planer, lemon, going down like so. Now this I'm not a huge fan of when I'm doing lemons because I can't see how much of the pith I'm catching, right? So if I'm catching downward, I just gotta sort of hope like, go, 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 turn, go, 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 turn back, go, 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 turn back to me. So I prefer catching upward. This allows me to see, I got a lot more grip control, rotate the lemon a lot easier, get all those in between spots. You know, you can mess around, have fun with it. You can give it the old school George Jefferson, like a nice little cul-de-sac. Chef, can I just hire you to cook dinner for me? You honestly don't want to know that price. I promise you. You do not want to know what that price is. It is, yeah, we're just not going to do that one. Fun story though, I have had athletes, celebrities, managers, talent people, all types try to get me on payroll. I'm like, I'm okay with it. So this is, once again, catching up right. Old school George Jefferson is going, there we go, so let's drop that off. And you see, you really just want to clean it up. That's what we're doing. It's catching, going from there. R.I.P. George. I'm keeping the tip in my back pocket. Good. There we go. And I promise you, if you're just trying to elevate any dish, if you're making a sauce of any kind, add some citrus to it, preferably lemon. It just really goes such a long way. It brightens it. You can dehydrate this. You can put this all on a sheet of parchment paper if you're trying to make your own fresh lemon pepper at home. It takes about the zest of about 4 large lemons to do. Sheet of parchment paper in the oven, 250 degrees for about 8 minutes. Ooh. Your house will smell like those old school Pine Sol Lemon Pledge commercials, right? Anyone remember the Pine Sol lady? I wonder what she's up to these days. Y'all think she's still singing Pine Sol? There we go. Good. So let's knock out. Once again, this is why I prefer catching up top. I get to really see what I'm doing. And this is the zest. There we go. So we're gonna do that one more again. I love those commercials. There were some dope commercials, man. It's like like the entire world could be fixed with some Pledge and Pine Sol. So this is your planer. I wouldn't use a rasp on this. I'd definitely use the planer, above average planer, not a micro planer at all. Look at Mila, how you doing? Anyone else cooking for the holidays? I can't be the only one up prepping. See, that's what I do. When I can't sleep, I cook. Yona the doll, how are you? Drizzy, what kind of music do you make? Or is it just a tag? Rose Coffee. Speaking of coffee, shout out to my man Mark, man. Sent me some amazing coffee all the way from Australia. Got me hooked on it. Now I'm stuck because can't get it here stateside. You baking a ton? All right. I find cooking therapeutic, as do I. Maybe that's why I don't stress. I don't know if it's that or because I'm Jamaican and we just usually don't stress. That oil from the lemon is just absolutely amazing right now. There we go. Good, thanks for asking. That's good to hear. I'll be cooking the next 3 days and I can't wait. What are you cooking? What's on the menu? I water my plants. Lerman, my man, how you doing, brother? What am I making? Compound butter using those ingredients. All right, we're going through the monotonous task of zesting our lemon to get that lemon zest to add that nice citrus element, that fresh, that brightness to our compound butter. And if you are one of the subscribers, I appreciate you. I will be saving this live for y'all to go back to, take notes, Love how many y'all message me and tell me you found it helpful and useful, so that's really cool. There we go. Cool. As I make Velveeta mac and cheese, what exactly is compound butter? That is a really good question that I'm sure someone smarter than me can answer. But compound butter, in a sense, is butter. It is a mixture of butter and herbs and spices. It's a finishing butter. You can also use it in you'll see some people like fully encase their uncooked meat in it. I feel like that's such a waste because the second it hits meat, it just melts off. It doesn't baste fully, it'll just melt off. So I prefer to save my compound butter as a finishing item. So now that we have the zest of 2 lemons, let's first hydrate. Salud. I'm telling you guys, keep some brown water near you when you're cooking. Makes the cook go by so much better. We have our butter that has softened, but before we get to that, let's do a little slicey dicey on this Serrano. Shall we? Nice hydration. Hey, hydration is important, you know. We'll go 5 on this. If you do not like heat or peppers, I suggest you should probably skip this step. Someone messaged, oh my God, it was so spicy. I said, I literally put in there, if you don't like spice, don't just skip this step. All right. There we go. I missed something. Let me run it back. Do you keep and freeze them or just make it fresh every time? If it ever lasted long enough to freeze, I would. Like I'll make this, I usually make a fresh batch every week or so. This is just one of those good staples. So I'll be doing a meal prep video really soon, and you guys will see exactly all the stuff I make at the start of the week. 1, to go with my dishes, and 2, just to expedite my cooking process. You take 1 day out of the week to prep and you're good for the rest of the week. Or take the seeds out. No, I'm leaving the seeds in. I'm not Snoop, stems, no seeds. I need it all in there. I want all that flavor, I want all that spice. Because this, once that heat hits it, and it's gonna get toned down a bit with the acidity of the lemon. Big Meech, how you doing? Jessica, how are you doing this evening? All right. Let's give it 1 more pass, shall we? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Let's bring over our lemon zest. Add our minced serrano in there. Boom. Now, not gonna toss this, saving it. Crack some, there's no need for my Pitmaster Santa on this one. I do think I am going to get a new suit for next year, getting one made. So keep an eye out for that. Black pepper. Is there a pepper to substitute so we can still get some of the heat, but not as much as Serrano? Jalapeno. Jalapeno is below Serrano. Yeah, that's gonna be your best bet. Just going for the hat trick. 1 more pinch of Mexican oregano. That Mexo, you know, because we put that right there. It's our salts game. And when you're doing your salts, keep in mind, this is just a finisher. This isn't to salt your whole steak. This is going on at the end. My dad is a diabetic. Can you do a segment on some recipes that are tasty but healthy? We do have a new Fitness Forward series dropping in January. So there's that, and then, yeah, you got some options, man, don't you? It's gonna help out. It's gonna help out. I'll show you guys exactly what I eat. 3 sheet size pinches of salt. Get that lemon. And we're gonna plop it in here, get our juice, and squeeze. And this will make sense really, really soon. So we're adding the wet before we add in our butter, because what I'm gonna need is for the lemon juice to get absorbed by the salt, by the Mexican oregano, things like that, so that it doesn't leave a watery consistency on the compound butter. And don't toss this. We still have work with this, all right? Do toss the seeds though, because nothing you can do with those. These aren't organic lemons. We can't plant them and have them grow. So we're just doing a little And you see, we're doing this so we don't get a ton of runoff. Wiggle it around so the salt and all your dry herbs and everything soaks up the lemon juice. Perfect. Now, time for our rosemary. Let's clip some of this, shall we? Boom. Hey, Chewy, you in here? I didn't see you come in, brother. There we go. So you guys may not know, if you've never seen a Blue Angel show, you're missing out. But there's this amazing segment where they do a part that's called the sneak attack. Well, sneak attack Chewy today, twice. I'm very proud of it. All right, let's get our rosemary on here. Boom. All the odds and ends. Hey, Colin Seeger, how you doing? Is that Naomi or you? Let's mince out this fresh rosemary. There we go. Adding our fresh rosemary. Once again, fresh herbs just always, there's something about them. Something about them. Those of you who are just joining in, you are at the compound butter making portion of the night. Well paid. You know, I need to get well paid. It's meat prices. That's all I'm saying. Just prices of everything in general. I can't even get a Jamaican cola for 89 cents like I used to. It's like $1.79 now. Don't get me started on oxtail. Yes, fresh rosemary is the move. Okay. Yeah, just mince that down. I got that one little section right here. Just get it. And we're just using one stick. One stick of butter for now is what we're going to use. Unsalted butter. Keep that in mind. Okay. Let's add that to our section. And if you're ever going to use fresh herbs, it should be on holiday dishes. It should be, you know, those special occasions. I got nothing against dried stuff. Obviously, some like the Mexican oregano. But when you can, do fresh. Alrighty. And you see how little additional moisture we have in there? Considering we got all that lemon juice out, that's what we want. Now it's time to add our butter. The star of the dish, if you would. And I have so many different compound butter recipes. Pop that in there. Alright. Now, grab you a nice fork here and get to pressing. Don't worry, I didn't forget about the garlic. It's coming. Spread. What's that Andre 3000 song? One of the last Love Below. What's that song? Spread. Play that while you do this. Just spread. Just follow the song lyrics. Just spread. Mash that in there and spread. I wish you guys could smell how amazing this is. And this isn't just good for steaks. You can make this compound butter, keep it in the fridge, right? Use it when you're making eggs. Use it when you're making pasta. Use it when you're sauteing anything. Just take off a little knob, a little piece, and go to town with it. So good. So you see we still have some moisture down there? No worries. Knock that out with some good old Mexican. Bam! I don't think Emerald owns that, so I can still say it. Crack a little bit more pepper in there. Now, can you imagine you get a nice reverse seared steak or perfect edge-to-edge pink prime rib, and you put a little wedge of this on there to let it melt down. Oof. This is one of those simple things that can elevate any dish, any cook. Finishing butters, finishing sauces, finishing salts and finishes, finishing oils, vinegars really help elevate dishes. Here we go. Hello, Joe, how you doing? All right. Getting the garlic ready. Part of cooking I absolutely detest the most, but I refuse to get pre-peeled garlic. Can't do it. Get that. Let's do one more nub, shall we? There you go. 3 nubs of garlic should do it. And also make sure you got some good music going too. I gotta keep mine low because, you know, Instagram is kicking me off for having too much fun. Am I cooking it tonight? No, I am not. I am going to dry brine it, start the process tonight, because these are some thick cuts of meat. So I want to make sure that it penetrates all the way through and gets flavor. You know, primer is one of those tricky things because it's such a thick cut of meat. It's hard to get all the flavor all the way through. So that's why I dry brine from now. And we're gonna do that on a cooling rack. I may jump on live when the cook is actually happening, show you guys how it all, like the steps of it, but this is the process. Can we see the prime rib yet? Yeah, give me 1 sec, let me finish this last peel of garlic. Because, you know, once you get started with garlic, it's one of those you just gotta finish. And we're gonna come back to our more than average size planer and get to work on it. Get down to the nub, watch your fingernails and your fingertips, because the planer can't tell the difference. See, we got our first little splash of garlic in there. There it is. Hello, Miss B. Robinson, how you doing this evening? There we go. Almost done. Knock out our third and last. I love garlic. If you don't like garlic, I don't know what to tell you. It's just one of those things. Alrighty. Get all the excess out. Waste not, want not. You know what I mean? Now, let's mix all that in, fold it up and spread. You said Andre 3000, spread. And I'm telling you, when that hits the lemon zest and the juice, aromatics. Aromatics all over the place. Okay. That's it. There we have it. Now, let's wrap it up for the night. Let's tuck this aside. And we hit our checklist. I'm not going to do the basil. I'm going to skip the basil on this one. We've got our garlic, lemon, our butter, our salt, whiskey, rosemary, serrano, and Mexican O. Now we are just going to do the next easy part. You can do this. You don't have to. You can just put a saran wrap over it, call it a day. But I prefer to tube it. Nice little piece of saran. down. Happy holidays. When is your next barbecue challenge? I love watching you cook. I got a face for radio, brother, so I don't know if I'm gonna be on the screens anymore. But you never know. There's some fun, exciting stuff happening. Let's scrape this bad boy off. You know, get all up in those grooves. Work too hard to let it go to waste. Now to the side for right now. Next year is full of tours and travel. It's gonna be a good year. Heading all over the place, from Portland to California to Texas to the Carolinas to the Dakotas to Montana. Not French, but you know, going international to the UK. It's gonna be a good time, man. Okay. Not come to Jersey? What's in Jersey? What am I doing in Jersey? All right. Let's fold this over, shall we? Oh no, there we go. Pull taut on it, pinch the edges, and just roll. We're just gonna try to form it right now. There we are. We're gonna use that. Grill and chill, yes, grill and chill. 2024 is gonna be a I can't wait to tell you guys all about it, man. I've been plotting literally since the Sunday. We wrapped on Saturday. Sunday we were having a meeting, going over everything. Hey, how are you? When are you going to visit Kingston? Not on the books right now. Not on the books right now. Little soft pat roll. So boom, this is our flavorful compound butter with everything but the, let's mark that out, shall we? Everything but the basil. But we got garlic, lemon, butter, salt, whiskey, rosemary, serrano, and Mexican oak. This is gonna go into the fridge, and it's gonna chill, and it's gonna tighten. And before you do it, before you put on the steak, please, 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 do not take this straight out of the steak and put it on, excuse me, don't take this straight out of the fridge and put it right on the steak. That will be too cold and it's just gonna chill your steak. Take this out 30 minutes before, cut a thin slice, then drop it on top of the meat. Do it, try it, thank me later. I promise, any dish you make, it's gonna elevate it. Let's put this away. Next playlist going here. Because now we have to do, let's see, what do we have to do here? Let's get into the steaks after you cook the meat or while it's being cooked. So once the meat is, so let's say the prime rib, I'm gonna have the prime rib rested for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take the, I want to add the basil, but I don't want to, because you didn't. Don't add the basil for this one. Don't add the basil for this one. This one doesn't need the basil. There's a lot of other compound butters where the basil is the star. The basil would have been Kelly Rowland in this, and we don't want the basil to be Kelly Rowland. We want the basil to be front runner. All right, so we didn't drop the basil in. There'll be other ones. Where is my get my playlist going? Is that mold? Mold where? I'm not sure. Young. First off, Kelly Rowland is just, that's why I said we don't want the basil to be Kelly Rowland, right? I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. I know Kelly's hot, that's what I'm saying, but we don't want that. We want the basil to be front running on her own. We don't need her mixing up everything. We don't need her sharing the mic, all right? Y'all don't come for me. Kelly been down, all right? Even Beyonce gave her credit with those pipes, so y'all ain't gonna come for me. Not on Stevie Wonder's internet. Not on Stevie Wonder's internet. Let's see if this one doesn't get me kicked off. So, before we start the steak and breaking it down, let's get our board. Please do not prep raw meat on a wood board unless you're going to take the time to properly and thoroughly clean it like I've done in the past. But for now, we got a lot of meat to handle. We've got just over 13 pounds of meat. But before I get down, gotta hydrate. Hydrate. Now, for those of you who are just coming in, you may have missed the prep that we did for this. We made a nice herb salt, and we made a nice rosemary salt. We'll be utilizing these for different reasons coming up. What those reasons are, haven't fully decided yet, but I'm gonna pop the top any which way, and you'll see. I am currently sipping on some Defiant. Chokehold right now, and it's so good you can polish off a bottle and wake up the next day no headache. I wouldn't know about polishing off the whole bottle though, because All right, let's get to the meat. I'll double glove for this. So let's do this, shall we? Someone turned me on to tequila recently, so my brown water looks much more clear. Technically, all of our bourbon come out clear until, they start aging it. Ooh. All right, let's run through this, shall we? Let us go through the steps. I appreciate that. I hope it's going to be a good one. Alrighty. So, and if I get cut off from the whole Instagrammies, please y'all head over to the YouTube. I will be there. Is this recorded? I gotta rush compound butter. If you are a subscriber, it will be. If you are not, it is gone once you leave here. What cooker will we be using for this cook? Good question. I'm gonna let this ride on the Masterbuilt. Let's inspect our meat, shall we? So it looks like someone got a little heavy-handed, a little happy when they were slicing all the meats and prepping. We got a little tiny cut in here, but it's not on any immediate joints or seams where we've got to really worry about it. So I'm not going to trip. Plus, nothing I can do about it now. Now, why I picked this one. Let me bust them all out of the package so you guys can see. Isn't there a song that says that? I don't listen to the radio much, but I saw a meme that said something like breaking out the plastic. I was like, are they shoplifting? Is that what's happening? If somebody's stealing meats, because as you see, these meats come with security codes on them now. That's how crazy times are. Got that one there. And let's get lastly the third. This is the time to stock up on your cuts of beef. All right, and there's that one. Now, let's go through them all, shall we? This was a sloppy cut. You can see it. This is a sloppy cut. It's not as smooth or as finished as the others. You guys can see it side by side right there. I don't know, it looks like they tried to cut that with a sledgehammer. All right. Maybe that's when I turn into my steak, because this looks not as great. This exterior cut just bothers me, you know? But let you guys get an idea. So just because the steak is bigger does not mean it will be better or more flavorful. As you can see, this is the thick boy, but it does not have as much marbling in the eye. Not much at all when you compare it to this one, which is about 4.2 pounds. Has a fair bit more marbling, but it also has much more marbling in the spinalis. I'll put you all on game. The eye is not the best part of the steak. This is the spinalis. The spinalis right here is the quintessential part of the steak. This right here. Let all your friends and fam fight over this. Just go ahead and sneak this piece to the side for yourself and get out the kitchen. Go take that walk with your cousins like y'all always do during the holidays. You know what I'm talking about. That is where all the rich flavor is. So that's good. You can hold it up, and you'll see it's compacted to so much. It's dense fat. Even on Humpty Dumpty lump steak here, you see that the spinalis still has that extra marbling. You know? Now this is supposed to be the big one, but let me show you how I know they were in a rush and they weren't cutting right. Because you see this, it's evened out right here. Now, yeah, look at this. What are we doing here? This is that, you know what this is? This is the barber that's in the first chair at the barber shop. Everybody and their mama know, don't go to the barber in the first chair. Like, what happened here? Ain't no one asked for a V-taper. I asked for the Gumby. Got the Wyclef. And also, this has the least amount of marbling in it. This will make a horrible rib roast. It'll honestly make a horrible rib roast. This is not. I almost now, just off of decency, like, just watch out there now. Nice ass, because I mean, like this will make a horrible rib roast because look at it. There's next to no fat in the eye. There's next to no fat in the spinalis when you compare it to the dense marbling of the spinalis of this. You see? I'm just trying to put you all on game. Trying to help you out. Got more fat in the back. This got a butcher's booty do. More fat in the back that I can't use versus where I need it to be up front. Like, what is this? I'm gonna have to change things around and make this one my steak meat. And oddly enough, so this is how it was oddly cut. So the main bone, you see they cut in between. So here's my one bone. What is going on here? There's so many questions with this cut. I'm not gonna lie, there's so many questions. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and make this our steak dinner for tomorrow. And we'll use these for our rib roast because they're balanced, you see? You can get that up and standing. Some upstanding meat. even let's shred this side off here. Even our bubbly end, I'll tighten that up, but I'd rather go there. Well, Kroger isn't always bad. They're usually good, but you know, I don't know. I feel like this is those cuts look like someone's first day on the line. I'm not gonna lie. Those are first day cuts. So let's break this down. God, such a waste too. It has such good potential, man. Such good potential. And the way I can see it coming off that fat, probably gonna have to 50 Shades of Grey it and But luckily, I always keep my twine on me. You know, keep that thing on me. Let's get our knife. Feel, you can go right against here. We'll get about an inch thick. That's right. There we go. There we go. We're going right up on there. We're gonna use the bone as our guide. Good. So make sure we're staying right on that guide, on that bone. There we go. Let's break this all the way through. Oh. You guys can see here. Perfect. Butterfly it out. Now let's finish it off on the back end. There we go. Good deal. It looks like we got a little bit more fat on the interior here, but not a ton. Not a ton. Trim that guy down. What we got here. It's a nice, it's gonna be a thick one. I'm gonna have to do some tricks. Just the one he's with. Yeah, the other two are gonna be primes. This isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. But as you see, it's not a ton of marbling on it. It really isn't a ton. It's gonna cook well. And for this, the way I'm gonna cook this, because this end is so thick, right here, YouTube, if you can see me, I'm gonna start on the edge. I'm gonna start on the edge. I'm gonna heavily salt this, get a nice sturdy crust on it. Then I'm gonna go about a minute on each side, get this to medium rare. Because I gotta be careful, because I don't wanna overdo this, because there's not as much fat in there to help me out with the moisture and flavor that I need. See? So it's not horrible. It's not great either. Oh, this isn't the Dynasty Series knife. So now there's some options, right? So this could be split on this edge to come down as another steak. And I got 3 out of it, but I may just leave this and let this age and enjoy that after the new year. But we broke that bad boy down. This is gonna be the steak for tomorrow. Let's get our rack out. Not like that. Boom. Get our rack. Because when we set these up to go and age and solve, we want to put them on like this. If you're going to do this, always make sure that you have a rack that's going to allow some airflow top and bottom, right? And this allows it to dry evenly and stops it from sitting out in the moisture and the juices that get released when it's being cooked. Just a little concept there. Find it useful, great. If you do it already, sit on you. These are old baking pans that I don't use except for this purpose. All right. work. I deserve some hydration. So let's move those to the side for now, and then let's go ahead and salt up our main pieces here. Certain things that I want to point out that are not going to happen. This just bothers me. Let me get my knife. This right here. Anytime I feel me scroll, just a man who can't get his sleep, so I decided to cook and prep some meats. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm calling this piece Bumpy Johnson. I'm not feeling bumpy right now. So, to fix this and get this out the way, I want it, and it's just aesthetic, it's just looks, it just bothers me. So let me come up here, let me feel around the bone, feel the seam. You know, I can use this in the morning, I'm not gonna toss it. Make this a nice part of the breakfast, quick fry, a little quick cook. We got a little, it gets real thin in the middle here. So let's keep it that way, right? Start up here. See, doesn't that look better? See, doesn't that look better than the old Bumpy Johnson we were dealing with? Like, look at this. This is after, before. Single razor, multi-edge. Professional, razor bumps. Yeah, that just looks better. So yeah, this is just gonna, this little tiny bit, toss it in the skillet, steak and eggs. Done with it. But it's just about presentation, right? Your food's gotta look good. Because you go from like this, like that looks good. I keep my blades sharp. I don't know what that is. Once again, this is that first chair barber that doesn't wash his instruments, and now the back of your neck looks like somebody's trying to tell a story in Braille. We don't want Braille meat. Silky smooth, Silk and Sonic. Give me that Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. Not whatever they gave me, not the Bumpy Johnson. So I'm gonna put this on the side, because it's gonna be breakfast. Razor bump. Hey, there's some razor bumps, man. Gave you that full ingrown hairstyle. No one's trying to read Braille under a steak. Just trying to help you guys out. See, I'm just trying to put you all on game. This is how I get treated. You know, I don't appreciate it, to be perfectly honest with you. And yes, keep your knives sharp. So for this, also after we gave our meat a line up, what we are not going to do, we are not going to remove the silver skin and the membrane. We're going to leave it on. Okay? Same here. We're not going to remove it. We're going to leave it on because of how we're cooking everything. All right? Other things we're not going to do that you see people do that I'm just like, why? Just take your time. It'll be all right. You ain't got to do all that. No need to be extra. We also not going to score the fat. We're gonna let the fat do its thing. Fat didn't do nothing to me, I'm not gonna do nothing to it. We're gonna let the fat be. I'm happy with how it is because of how I'm cooking this and the rig that I'm doing it on. Either way, I need the fat. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you because fat's where the flavor is. They did not make a song called Baby Got No Fat. Baby Got Back, and back is 98% fat. So, I'm leaving the skin on. I'm gonna salt this heavily. This is gonna get where we're gonna help get our crust and get it formed. Same here. And this looks, so the spinalis. That spinalis is gonna be the star. Oh, what do they do in these for Valentine's Day for the single but meat carnivores? They make y'all a little meat heart. Boom, good. There you go. Just like that. Enjoy. Alrighty, so we've got that. Pros and cons. of bone-in versus boneless primers. So the big immediate con would be the fact that you are paying for the bone. But I'll tell you why I actually like this. I actually like this. I'll show you. You see how the bone isn't separating? Most times when you go to places, they will trim right here and separate the bone for you. And I hate when they do that. Because one, I like to 50 shades of gray my meat and string it up and tie it. And when that bone is off there, it's just flapping in the wind. So I like it like this because it stays, there's no seam, and my bone is still connected to the meat, and the bone is a heat conductor. So it helps me gauge the entire cook process by knowing that I can move the heat anywhere I want, depending on where I position the bone in relation to my heat source of my smoker. That was a really convoluted answer, but I hope you picked up what I was putting down. Now, we are not going to oil this right now. We're not going to do anything to it right now, aside from dust it with our salts. Ideal bookkeeper. Ooh, what kind of books are you keeping? I'm more of a business and autobiography bookman myself, but I digress. Now, this is a thick, cold peanut butter, thick, Oprah in 2008 thick piece of meat, okay? We're talking old school Luther Crow Can Get Right thick. So don't be afraid of the salt. Do I have a YouTube channel? Yes, I do. It's actually the same name because I'm not smart enough to be clever and come up with something unique. I'm actually on YouTube right now in case you, Instagram kicks me off. Salt your meat. That is not nearly enough salt for this thick boy, okay? I'm gonna press down in it a little bit. I'm gonna salt all sides. And remember, this isn't our regular salt. We did this earlier, first half of the show. We made a nice rosemary and herb salt. So I'm gonna salt it. And you'll see by the time it's done, remember the color. The color is gonna change. It's gonna start to sweat a little bit, like it's being interrogated for, a couple charges. It's got 2 strikes on them. So, flip it. And salt. Remember, we made 2 salts, and we're gonna use both salts. This one's getting this rosemary salt, and the other one's getting our full blown with our cumin and what have you. Salt it. Get in there. I promise you, by the time this is done cooking and it's sweating and the fat is dripping and everything is going on, and you're basting it and you're giving this and that, this is not nearly enough salt to freak anybody out or to give you the diabetes or the high cholesterol or any of that. It's a thick piece of meat. Now, let's get that crust. And you see how much comes off, so you gotta mop it. Pick back up. That crust. Obviously, no binder on this because we don't want to block anything. We're trying to keep the pores open. They don't make Accutane for beef, so we're just gonna salt it right now. Don't want to close those up yet. Don't forget, and I know my ladies know this, make sure you get them edges. Lay them edges down. So, press. We're not rubbing, we're just pressing it in. What else will that miss here? Go. Press, and just keep rotating it around. You guys see how the brightness of it, the color is changing just a bit? Now let's turn this bad boy over. Get it here. By the time you take this out to cook, it will have a much deeper red tone to it. And we season everything, even the parts that we're not really gonna be on, but when you take this off and you gnaw it on the bone, you'll be happy that you hit it with some flavor. And I'm not gonna bind this just yet. I'll save that until cook day. because this what's going to happen is as the moisture releases and so forth, it's going to shrink on me. So if I tie it up too early right now, the twine is going to get too loose. But certain pantry staples you should always have. Okay, now let's just mop this up. For those of you who can hear the sound in the background, she is not talking about cleaning the house. Do not be mistaken. Okay, Texas Beast Barbecue, how you doing, man? All right, we're just mopping up. Got salt, we got rosemary in there. I'm happy with it. Look at that. Get that on our rack. Now if we come over to our full herb, remember this had our cumin in there. This has some of our peppercorn, our white peppercorn, drop of bird's eye. It's just good to have these type of salts prepped and ready. You can use them all throughout the week. Get in there. Got crust on the edge. We already went through and saw the butcher's slash of it, but we'll be all right. That's why we're gonna twine it up later. Press. Even distribute. And with these thick pieces of meat, I promise you, this amount of salt's not gonna hurt anything. It's not gonna be salt heavy because remember we did not put a ton of salt in our compound butter. We do have a lot of fresh herbs in there. And that compound butter will firm up real quick too. Get our sides, front, back, side to side, and don't miss those edges. Oh, it's gonna be absolutely delicious. I wish you guys could smell this right now because it's a problem. It's a problem. Salt, 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 salt. Those edges get you that nice crispy bark. And then we're gonna make our, on the day of, we're gonna crack open all of our peppercorn and extra bird's eye, and oof, it's gonna be a good time. Let's mop up. And there we have it. Good deal. Now, here we go. We got our meats. So, like I said, this is going to be tomorrow's steak. This one right here. So let's get that ready for tomorrow's steak. I want to use the rosemary salt. And it's not as thick of a meat as the others, so I'm just going to give one light coating on one side. That Martin Lawrence House Party switch, flip it over. And dust it one more again on the opposite side. Make sure I get that spinalis, because like we talked about, that's where that flavor is. Thin, thick or not, still get your edges. Use that to mop up anything loose. Get all up in between there, all those regions. If I wanted to, I'd twine this. That's all right. Oh, that first slice, well, the reason why I do this brine, right, is so that not only the first slice is nice. So what I'll keep doing, like there's so many techniques that are gonna happen here, but come Sunday and Monday, that first slice, that second and third will be just as good. Twine, this is my 50 Shades of Smoke, binding it up, but I don't need to for this one, but I could like scrunch it together and then I'll show you, wrap the twine around the edges so it'll hold its form. But this is gonna go on I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, but what I'm cooking it on, that'll be just fine. Alright, so yeah. Diamonds are forever, but the steak won't last past a few minutes once it's rested and cooked. Let's take this up, put it on our rack so that the moisture can be released from it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can start to see how the steaks are starting to sweat a little bit, starting to show a bit more color. This one right here, let's finish off strong. Are you smoking your holiday dinner? Yes, I am smoking my holiday dinner. I will be using the Masterbuilt 1050. I'm gonna be running mesquite and post oak on it. I'm gonna be running this bad boy at about 225 degrees. Put it on at about 11 o'clock and let it just slow ride and ride. I'm gonna serve it up with some fingerling potatoes, arroz con gandules, some mac and cheese. I'm probably gonna make some more stuff too, you know. I hope that answered the question. The rice will be a Thai basil. Got it there. Get those edges. That fat cap in there. Get up in there, get them, get those edges. That back. There they are, there they are. Kimberly, thank you for joining us. It's been a party. All this work, man, is making me thirsty. So, let's mop this up. So, get all the finer bits. And let's see how it's doing. Let's take a look at it, because I'm curious. Oh yeah. Our compound butter is getting nice and firm. Any cooking benefits for Frenching the bone? It is more for visuals and to look good than anything else. It also gives you an actual handle to grip onto if you're doing it over open fire or piercing or hanging. Actual end of dish result, not that great. The reason why I don't like Frenching the bone, unless it's a tomahawk, and it came that way. You see this, if I Frenched it, that would mean there'd be some excess bone here, but I'd also have to clip right about here, clip this meat off, have it all looking nice and what have you. I can't get down with the get down. I prefer to leave that, have that extra fat, because once this is crusted and cooked, I'll take this knob off, I'll put it in the fridge, and that's what I'm using to start my cast iron cooks, because of that extra beefy fat flavor. When I'm making my falls, when I'm making that, these are the nubs that I'm putting in there. Also, with the bone connected to the meat, the bone is a heat conductor. Let's flip it over one time for you. Boom. The bone is a heat conductor. So as it heats up, it dispels and disperses heat across the rest of the meat, which helps you get a much even cook. That was really convoluted and too much for that question, but hopefully it helps somebody somewhere do something. All right, that's the rub right there. Yeah, this piece right here, I'm telling you, when it's done cooking, this is the piece you slice, you put it in the fridge, right? Then you get it nice and cold. Then you slice it real thin and you drop that in your cast iron skillet or your pan when you're frying or sauteing stuff, and you just get that extra flavor. Cheat code, waste not, want not. Okay. Let's take a look at our handiwork, shall we? Appreciate y'all for hanging with me. If not, I'd just be talking to myself, and it's just sad. It's a big one. big girl right here. Damn. A lot of meat. So I've got our meat here. We're gonna have it on our rack. I'm gonna put these on another rack so that they get enough airflow and can stand up on their own. But this is it. Oh, almost forgot. Can't forget our Bumpy Johnson steak. Let me run that over the cutting board, get all the little odds and ends. This is just like you would a sponge. I'm just getting in there, getting the front and back of it. So it's nice and well seasoned and marinated. For my steak and eggs in the morning. I gotta do 18 miles, so come back to this bad boy as a prize. Here we are with our Bumpy Johnson. our thin slice off cut. But yeah, that is it. That was the prep. We went over making compound butter. We broke down steaks. We talked about what to look for when you're looking for prime rib roast like this, what to look for when you're looking for regular steaks at home, how to mitigate waste. Went through a lot. All that talking is making me thirsty. We had some laughs. But if you guys are subscribers, this live will be saved. If not, I don't know what to tell you, it kind of vanishes in a few minutes. But appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope you have a amazing time with your friends, family, loved ones. I'm gonna be enjoying the rest of this here beverage. You guys have a wonderful night. Have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot me an email, drop a DM, or what have you. It'll be a good time, but good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Be good to one another.